When we hear the word island, we immediately picture a lonely palm tree, the ocean, and coconuts. But in the movies, it's not so simple. In this video, at the top 15 most famous islands from films, from places where you can take a vacation to real hellish traps where survival is almost a miracle. Who will take first place? Watch until the end, and you won't want to find yourself on any of them. 15th place. The movie The Beach. Pros: freshwater, food, isolation, beauty. Cons: crowd psychology, paranoia, social decay. The main character, Richard, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, decides that ordinary life is not for him. He dreams of adventures and, of course, finding the perfect beach where everyone is happy and coconuts grow right on the trees. He finds two friends, a French woman named Françoise and her boyfriend, who also seem to be looking for their ideal vacation. Together they embark on a search for paradise. But as it often happens, paradise is not as simple as it seems. It turns out the beach is inhabited not only by happy hippies, but also by rather aggressive locals who are not too pleased with the new tourists. And that's when the real drama begins. Friendship, betrayal, and even a touch of madness. The plot twists in the film cause viewers to nervously cling to their popcorn. Richard, who at first was full of hope, realizes that the perfect world is merely an illusion. And the more he tries to maintain this paradise, the more he begins to lose himself and his friends. We give this wonderful film the 15th place in our ranking. 14th place. The movie Cast Away. Pros: no enemies, fresh water, resources. Cons: loneliness, psychological pressure, lack of help. Tom Hanks is all alone on an island. Survival is possible, but will he have the strength not to go insane? The main threat isn't the weather, but loneliness. The plot here is quite predictable, although that doesn't diminish the depth of meaning embedded in it. Chuck is a successful logistics manager who works for FedEx. His life goes on as usual until disaster strikes. His plane crashes, and he finds himself on a deserted island. In the first few days, he is in shock and doesn't know what to do. He explores the island, tries to find food and water, but faces difficulties. An unprepared person in this situation has it very tough. One of the most memorable moments is Chuck's encounter with a volleyball that he finds among the wreckage. He names it Wilson and starts talking to it. This friendship becomes an important part of the plot, as Wilson becomes not only a friend to Chuck, but also a symbol of his struggle against loneliness. This is a film about the courage of a man who not only did not break, but also learned to survive on the island. He coped despite all the difficulties, but nevertheless, being in such a place all alone is quite daunting. 13th place. The film The Blue Lagoon. Pros: food, water, climate. Cons: lack of knowledge, dangers of nature, isolation. The story begins with two children, Emma and Lee, who, along with a sailor, end up on a deserted island after a shipwreck. Unfortunately, their adult companion does not survive to see rescue, and now the kids are left alone. Over time, Emma and Lee become not only friends, but also partners in survival. They learn to work together, and their friendship gradually evolves into something more. This leads to comical and touching moments as they begin to realize their feelings for each other. This is a film about growing up, isolation, and attempts to build a family in a world where no one has told you how to do it. Agree, being on a deserted island as a child, having lost the only adult nearby, is very, very scary. Despite the beautiful nature, almost paradise spots on the island, being there with a complete lack of knowledge and support from an experienced person is still not desirable. Therefore, this island takes a respectable 13th place. 12th place. The film King Kong. Pros: availability of resources. Cons: dinosaurs, giant insects, King Kong. Skull Island. Paradise nature and nightmares of the Jurassic period. Can you survive here? Only if you are not the main character. Speaking of them, director Carl Denham, Jack Black, faces problems on the set of his film. He decides to go to the deserted Skull Island to shoot his new project. To do this, he gathers a crew, including screenwriter Jack Driscoll, Adrian Brody, and actress Ann Darrow, Naomi Watts. When the ship reaches Skull Island, the crew is amazed by its beauty and wild nature. The island is surrounded by high cliffs and covered with dense jungles, creating an atmosphere of mystery and danger. The air is filled with a sense of adventure, but also a foreboding feeling. During their exploration of the island, the group encounters the first signs of danger. They find the remains of animals and traces of gigantic creatures. This causes them concern, but Carl Denham, driven by a thirst for success, insists on continuing the shoot. Soon, the team finds themselves trapped when they are captured by a local tribe of natives. They witness a ritual in which the tribe worships King Kong. This event becomes a turning point, as the tribe decides to capture Anne to sacrifice her to their god. King Kong, a massive gorilla, turns out to be not only a terrifying creature, but also one with feelings. He saves Anne from the dangers of the island, and an unusual bond begins to form between them. Anne starts to see Kong not just as a monster, but as a protector. The film King Kong is an epic story of love, fear, and sacrifice that explores the complex relationship between man and nature. The plot, based on a classic tale, combines elements of adventure and drama, highlighting both the beauty and dangers of the wild. King Kong, as a symbol of strength and vulnerability, evokes sympathy from viewers despite his monstrous appearance. But let's be honest, staying on an island with such a wonderful cast, let's remember the native tribe, dinosaurs, and of course King Kong himself, is not something anyone would want. Therefore, it takes 12th place in our ranking. 11th place. Jurassic Park. Pros: civilization, buildings, technology. Cons: dinosaurs, power outages, panic. The plot revolves around the ambitious project of billionaire John Hammond, who creates a theme park on Isla Nublar, where dinosaurs are recreated using genetic technologies. The island is surrounded by the ocean and has a tropical climate, creating ideal conditions for the dinosaurs' existence. However, its beauty hides many dangers. The dinosaurs created in the park are not tamed and can be unpredictable. The main dangers come from predatory species, such as Tyrannosaurus rex and velociraptors, which are capable of hunting humans. The film's plot begins with Hammond inviting a group of experts, paleontologist Alan Grant, his colleague Ellie Sattler, and mathematician Ian Malcolm, to check the park's safety before its opening. After their arrival on the island, events take an unexpected turn when the security system fails, and the dinosaurs begin to roam freely throughout the park. The heroes face dangers as they try to survive and escape, leading to many thrilling moments and tense situations. Few would want to find themselves alone with dinosaurs, especially on an island created for them. Therefore, this place takes 11th place in our ranking. 10th place. 28 weeks later. Pros: modern infrastructure. Cons: zombie virus, military, panic. The action takes place on the British island, 28 weeks after the outbreak of a virus that turns people into aggressive zombies. Not only do the infected pose a huge threat to the survivors, but the existing military forces trying to restore order also represent a danger, as they may take radical measures to protect the remaining people. The film focuses on Don, who is trying to rebuild his life with his children, Abby and her brother. When Abby enters a quarantine zone, she accidentally discovers that she may be a carrier of the virus, as she survived an encounter with the infected. This discovery leads to a tense situation when the military decides that she should be studied despite on risk. Soon the virus flares up again when one of the soldiers, unaware of it, becomes a carrier of the infection. Chaos ensues and the infected break free once more, attacking the military and survivors. A group of heroes, including Dawn, Abby, and other survivors, tries to escape, facing numerous obstacles, including both the infected and aggressive military actions. The combination of aggressive zombies and no less aggressive military sounds depressing, so we give this place 10th place in the ranking. 9th place. 2012. Pros: a shelter after the end of the world. Cons: hard to reach, resources are limited. The plot of this film does without zombies, dinosaurs, and giant monkeys. Yet it is no less tragic and tense for the viewer. The story is based on global catastrophes caused by natural phenomena predicted in the Mayan calendar. It all starts when scientist Jack Saunders discovers that the Earth is undergoing catastrophic changes due to solar activity. Soon, disasters begin to occur worldwide: earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. The world's governments start to hide information, but it soon becomes clear that humanity is on the brink of destruction. The film follows the heroes' journey through chaos as they try to reach the arks built to save the remaining people. The heroes face numerous obstacles, including natural disasters and human conflicts, creating tension and drama throughout the plot. Ultimately, the film emphasizes the strength of the human spirit in a terrible life situation, and the will to survive in the face of a global crisis. 8th place. The Island of Dr. Moreau. Pros: scientific base. Cons: mutants, moral decay, aggression. In this wonderful place, if you are not you, you will be turned into someone new. The island where the events unfold is secluded and tropical. It is hidden from the world and serves as Dr. Moreau's laboratory, where cruel experiments in genetic modification of animals are conducted, turning them into half-humans. The plot begins with the main character, Dr. Edward Prentice, finding himself on this mysterious island after a shipwreck. He soon learns that Dr. Moreau is conducting experiments to create beings that combine human and animal traits. These creations, called humans, experience suffering and internal conflicts due to their existence. This film really gives me chills. It boldly raises questions of morality and ethics, striking a chord with its tragedy. As the main character, Dr. Edward Prentice, tries to survive and understand the realities of the island, he encounters the horrors caused by Moreau's mad experimentation. Prentice witnesses the suffering of the humans who long for freedom but are trapped by their creator. This leads to extremely dramatic consequences when the conflict between the mad desire for experimentation and moral norms becomes catastrophic. True psychedelia, wouldn't you agree? I would sell my soul to avoid being in such a place. Therefore, this island takes its place in the middle of our ranking. 7th place. The film, The Platform. Pros: minimal resources. Cons: hellish social hierarchy. Cannibalism. The film takes place in a vertical prison, which is a multi-level structure consisting of platforms. At each level are prisoners who receive food from the upper platform, where a table with food is placed. As the platform descends, the amount of available food decreases, creating conditions for a brutal struggle for survival. In this film, the social hierarchy is vividly demonstrated. Imagine at the upper levels, people can enjoy abundance, while at the lower levels, they suffer from hunger. This creates social inequality and highlights how the system can erode a person's moral values. The plot of the film follows Gory, a new inmate who finds himself at one of the levels. He tries to adapt to the harsh reality, observing how people behave in conditions of hunger and fear. Over time, he begins to realize that to change the system, the inmates must unite and fight for justice. 6th place. The film, Battle. Pros: beautiful island. Cons: teenagers must kill each other. School children are dropped on an island and are required to kill until only one remains. The Law of the Jungle? Worse. This film has become truly cult due to its provocative theme and brutal scenes. The action takes place on an isolated island where groups of school children are sent as part of a cruel government program. The island is a closed territory with diverse landscapes, including forests, fields, and abandoned buildings. The dangers lie not only in the brutal survival conditions, but also in the school children themselves, who must fight each other until the last survivor. Each participant has a bracelet that tracks their location, and if they do not kill others within 3 days, the bracelets explode. This is indeed a very heavy film, where each character faces internal conflicts, making Battle not just a survival film, but also a deep social commentary on youth culture and societal pressure. Ultimately, Battle leaves viewers pondering the limits of humanity and the consequences of brutal systems. No one would want to find themselves on this island in such conditions, so this film takes 6th place. 5th place. The film, The Island of Dr. Moreau. Pros: seemingly science and technology. Cons: cruelty, loss of humanity. This is a classic horror film from 1932 based on Herbert Wells' novel, the island of Dr. Moreau. The plot begins with a sailor named Edward Prendergast, who finds himself on this mysterious island after a shipwreck. He meets Dr. Moreau, a mad scientist striving to create a new form of life by combining human and animal traits. Sounds like one of the previous points in our top, right? However, this is its older and creepier version. In the 1932 film, the emphasis is on the fear and horror created by mutations. The black and white filming creates a dark and ominous atmosphere, enhancing the sense of anxiety. The film leaves a grim and bitter aftertaste, emphasizing that science can lead to unpredictable and terrible consequences. This film still resonates with viewers, though it's already scary to think about how many years this film has been around, which is why it takes 5th place in our ranking. 4th place, the film The Island. Pros: ideal living conditions. Cons: you are a clone, and soon you will be harvested for organs, a glossy prison disguised as paradise. When the truth is revealed, it's already too late to run. The island in the film represents an isolated place where people believe they are survivors of an ecological disaster. It is surrounded by high walls and guarded, creating an illusion of safety and abundance. However, in reality, this place hides a grim truth. The island's inhabitants are clones created to provide organs for their originals. The residents are unaware of the true nature and purpose until they begin to realize that their life is merely preparation for the inevitable and merciless end. If you don't want to grow like a pig for slaughter, then you definitely won't want to end up on this island either. So it almost made it into our top 3. 3rd place, Shutter Island. Pros: civilization, safety. At first glance, cons: psychological hell, manipulation, impossibility of escape. If you ended up here, you are either insane or will become so. A mental hospital in the form of an entire island? How do you like that? You probably aren't thrilled. Neither are the characters in this film. The plot revolves around U.S. Marshal Edward Daniels, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who arrives on the island to investigate the disappearance of a patient. As the investigation progresses, Daniels begins to encounter mysteries that challenge his own perception of reality. He discovers that the medical experiments and manipulations on the island may have deeper and darker roots than he had assumed. The film gradually builds tension and intrigue, leading viewers to a shocking finale that forces them to reconsider all the events that took place on the island. Island of Fear explores complex themes of psychology and human nature. After watching, a heavy aftertaste remains. Therefore, this film opens our top 3. 2nd place, the film The Wicker Man. Pros: beautiful island, culture, people. Cons: cult, sacrifices, you are a guest. An island where they smile until they realize that you are perfect for the ritual. The plot unfolds on a secluded island where a community practices paganism and lives under the weight of traditions. The island is surrounded by the sea, making it seem completely isolated and removed from modern civilization. The main character, Inspector Niels Haley, played by Edward Malis, arrives on the island to investigate the disappearance of a girl named Charlotte. As he investigates, he encounters locals who dismiss his questions and behave suspiciously. Haley gradually realizes that the island's inhabitants practice sacrifices and have their own laws that contradict his moral standards. All his police skills and knowledge of the law become useless. The isolation emphasizes his vulnerability and sense of hopelessness, as he cannot receive help or support from the outside. 1st place, The Green Inferno. Pros: none. Cons: everything. Jungle, torture, cannibalism. No chance. If you are here, you will be eaten. Slowly, cruelly, and most likely alive. In the film The Green Inferno, the central location is the Amazon jungle, which is a picturesque yet threatening place where most of the events take place. The island is depicted as wild, untouched nature with dense forests, tall trees, thick vegetation, and diverse flora and fauna. These elements create an atmosphere of pristine beauty that contrasts with the horrors that ensue. The main inhabitants of the island are a tribe that practices cannibalism. Their way of life, customs, and rituals are presented as wild and primitive. Imagine you arrived in the jungle with the aim of helping a backward tribe, and all they think about is skewering you and eating you. Like it? I think not. Surviving here is unrealistic, but being painfully killed, yet a delicious dinner, no problem. This island definitely deserves to be awarded gold in our ranking. What top would you create? Write in the comments.